Hi guys, Daydream here. Today will be a kind of real and tough video because we'll talk about Burn the Stage. I've watched the two episodes, two first ones. Thanks to kind armies that shared the links to Dailymotion, I've been able to watch the second episode. So yeah, I'm really emotional about this, but I took my notes while watching several times this episodes, and I just wanted to share my thoughts, my real feels about this with you. So yeah, and to talk about what I experienced watching those episodes, what I think of them, what I think happened, and everything. So that will be today's video. I hope you will like it, and please share your thoughts about all of it in the comments with me. That will be very interesting to me to see how those episodes make you feel. What do you think about all the format of the documentary, of the series? Let's begin, because I'm gonna be reading my thoughts, and I'm gonna display what I'm talking about, like screenshots from the episodes, so you would know which scenes I'm describing. Let's begin. The whole format of this documentary is very suiting for BTS, for their whole life and lessons they teach us through it. I don't think that those army like me who understand BTS ideology deeply, and made an effort to get to know them deeper than from what they trying to portray as funny shows. We are not really surprised that boys decided to film that. At least I'm not surprised. They just wanted to show us and everyone else what they truly are going through in order to give us the best of them, right? It doesn't mean that in other more light-hearted, funny shows like BTS Run or Weekly Idols or whatever they've been showing their personalities to us through. That doesn't mean that they are not true in those. They are, but they wanted to show more, to like show their true raw side, the more raw side of them. At least I think about it like that. And we always knew that this raw side existed, but we didn't got a chance until now to like experience that, to see that through our eyes. We just could imagine how they feel and what they go through. So and I think that some of armies didn't really took this seriously, didn't thought much about what is truly going on behind the scenes, beside Bangtan bombs and what they show that is going on behind the scenes, like the fun moment, are still there, but they wanted to show more of not only fun moments, but the tough moments too, the true real life struggles that they are going through, just to connect more with us, to like they said themselves in the episode, um, to show that they are sometimes tired, sometimes annoyed, sometimes angry, that they have those feelings too, not just they are happy all the time. And they wanted to show us that because they trust us. And for me, I'm imagining this step like another step in the relationship we have with boys as armies. Like, you know, from the beginning in the relationship, you see in other person just the fun things, just the pleasant things, and as the relationship progresses, you are mature enough to open up to more raw things, like they said, to more true things about you, to show not just the things, the best, the not just the, I don't know how to say it, but not just the pleasant things, yeah, not just the pleasant things, not that they are not true, but the pleasant things are not the only things that you have in you. So this other side is unpleasant too. Overall, I'm just proud of their decision to do that, because it takes a lot of courage and determination to show your vulnerable side and moments to that many people, right? Because ARMY is so big, and even haters would watch this, and they could twist it in bad way or something, but they had the courage to do that despite that. So it's very admirable for me. And what I liked very much through the episodes also were the songs choices that they put out. They matched so perfectly with what was going on in the scenes, and I think it added another level of intimacy with the boys and the series, and the deepness to whole atmosphere of it. So it started with her, like you heard. I'm putting those songs when I speak, and it passed through If I Rule the World, which is now, and they are ruling the world right now. So through that they showed their success, the Billboard winning and those scenes. So that was cool thing that they include those matching songs to the atmosphere. And do you guys notice really that how well produced that is, how well thought every single detail of the series, like everything they do. It's not just the documentary that they sit on and just talk and then nothing really interesting happens. It's really deep and well thought. So I'm really grateful for that. It takes you on a perfect journey with them to feel what they felt, to join them in their lives, right? So for me, it is especially important because this last year was my first with BTS, as you know, and as an ARMY. And to recap it all, seeing what they were going through, just when I was slowly learning about them, is truly incredible for me, really. I really enjoyed how they explain their motives at first, and they proceed to showing as the preparation process to the first show and other shows. I love to see how and they were involved in this, how they truly decide so much, not just only staff tells them to you do what, you do that, then they show up and they practice and that's it. No, they are really involved. They are deciding how they gonna do things. They are discussing it with the staff and everything. So this much preparation is very close to them, and it's how they want it to be, not someone is telling them and they have to do that because someone tell them. Yeah, and what stood out to me the most in their interviews, the way they were describing themselves, like introducing themselves, and how they talked about us, about ARMYs. You could really feel sincerity, even if you are a first timer watching them in this series. You are new to ARMY, new to BTS, and you're watching the series. You can really feel their truthfulness. They, as I said, sincerity. This is the instant feeling of connection with them, just from the way they talk. And I don't know if you guys know, but a little reminder for ARMYs. Do you remember that this interviews and what they did for this first two episodes, at least, I don't know how it will be in the next ones, but in this first two, it was like the same time when they were filming for us the fun episode of Gaio when they did Spinebreaker. They were in the same clothes, in the same hotel. So it's really in Chile, right? And it was really uh, interesting for me to know that in the same time when they were doing those fun stuff that we were enjoying, at the time they were hiding the fact that they are doing those deep stuff too, that they are filming the documentary for us, and we didn't have a clue that this is happening. And that makes me wonder how many things now they are hiding from us to show us in the future projects and stuff. Like we found out about the game, the BTS World game that they were filming. We didn't know what was that before last year, like when some of us saw them filming. We thought it would be for the comeback. It wasn't for highlight reels, it wasn't for comeback, it was for the game. So how many things yet our eyes will experience, that they are preparing, that they are constantly evolving and showing us more and more, and this is just amazing. They are showering us with content, with thoughts, intellectual deepness, and everything. That's just amazing for me. I thought it would be interesting to like mention this Spinebreaker thing. So yeah, back to the interview. Overall, the moments that stood out to me the most were, first of all, Jimin's interview, and what he said about himself and armies, and how he felt he needs to do more for us because we do not ask or expect anything in return. And he said we love them purely, and he feels obligated to show us the maximum of him to repay us for our love. And that's just hit me real hard. I was very touched and tearing up and everything, because yeah, and when he was saying that, I thought, oh my goodness, why you are so hard on yourself. And of course we don't expect anything because we love you, and no matter what you do and boys do, we will support you no matter what. And but then I was also proud of him that our love gives him the motivation to work harder, to be him better self, that this love is like mutual to this point, that makes him love us more and do more with himself, and move forward with his abilities in life. And when I saw him cry over those two little things, mistakes, as he called them mistakes, it wasn't really mistake, that happened during the show. When I saw him cry, it was like the moment that I felt very, very sad, but I understood him, and I felt why he was so upset, that his microphone fell off, that his voice cracked. And I wanted to just wanted to give him a hug and say that everything will be okay, and that doesn't matter for us. But at the same time, I respected this this feeling of his, that he is disappointing us because something went wrong, that those little things, as he said, for others could be nothing, but for him it was big because he wanted to be perfect. He is perfectionist, and for him it was a big deal. So we should just respect how he feels. And yeah, I was so glad that there was a staff member that was like calming him and saying that don't worry, it was not really that big. And despite that, I saw this kind of, I don't know, disappointment of the situation, maybe not of as much of himself or some, but of he was like kind of mad that this happened. He didn't want it, the situation to be like that. He didn't want it to happen to him, this voice, but he couldn't control it, and it was so frustrating to him that he ended up in the situation that he couldn't really control, that like falling off the mic and cracking the voice. So I felt very, very like deep connection with that, because I have those moments in my life too when I am in the situation that I can't control really, and I can't do anything about it, but I'm so frustrated that this is happening, and I don't want it to, but it does. And yeah, it's really complicated, but it could deeply hurt you, right? So yeah, that was the reason he cried, and yeah, it touched me really, really, really much. The next thing was RM's incredible faith in boys and concern about them. When he was telling exhausted Jungkook to take it easy, to not overwork himself, he was so afraid of he was so like, he was scared and afraid of his well-being, Jungkook's well-being, and it shows how great leadership skills he has, how he cares about the members, but at the same time, he, as a leader and as a like a representative figure of boys, and obligated to give the best of the boys to armies, he was really concerned about the whole concert, that they need to like I don't know, cancel the concert, or stop it in the middle, and how army will felt, and he was very conflicted and confused in that moment, and I really understood that too, and that feeling of being torn between two, like wanting to help Jungkook, but and caring for his well-being, don't wanting for him to go on, because he will be pushing himself, and he can hurt himself, but on the other hand, if wanting him to continue to just finish the concert, and be done with it, and just be successful in a way of show finishing and production, like. So yeah, it's, you know, it's really, really hard to and he's doing so good job, and his nerves need to be so so collected, and I don't know how he does it, but it's really, really admirable, those skills that he can like compose himself, because he's have feelings too, he's exhausted too, he got all those but he needs to be above that, so that he can help others to do that. So he's putting his feelings and personal struggles like on the last place, just to help everyone else. So that's just truly admirable and amazing quality of his. So I respect him for that deeply. And I really love the thing that in their interviews at the beginning, they were saying they were asking them what things they will say to the future themselves after this year of concerts. And he said, I know you have limits, but try not to stay within those limits, within them, but try not to stay in them, and overcome the limits each day. And this is very great advice for everyone, because we all have limits, but in order to become better selves, we need to overcome those limits when we get to them each day, small steps, but keep improving, right? So that's great. That's a great advice to live your life. So to live your life fully, to live your life happily, I think, yeah, it's really motivating thing to do, right? To think. I love that. And of course, the last thing that was the most devastating to all the armies, I think, was Jungkook's exhaustion, and how he barely could stand, and breathe and everything, that how staff members were putting all of those fans and ice packs on him, and he couldn't really move. He wanted just to, I don't know, lay down, and he was in the verge of passing out. So that was very painful to watch, but so real, so deep, and at the same time, him in the interview saying that he knew before the concert that he wasn't feeling very well, that his body wasn't ready for all this exhaustion that will come, but he kept pushing because he knew that it will be the one time that he can see armies in Chile, in this country, in these particular days, and he wouldn't be able to see them for a long time. So he wanted to give his all to that moment, just to show his love and thankfulness, and like gratefulness for armies, that they've come, that they love them, that they love him, that they are there, like to repay them, just even if it meant that he needed to sacrifice his health for that. But it's, I don't know, it's really beautiful thing to do, but so dangerous at the same time, selfless, I don't know. So the love that he have for fans is so selfless and deep and precious, that he is ready to sacrifice his own well-being to just give fans him on stage, singing and doing the show that they came for. It's incredible for me to how amazing person he is, how deeply, maybe he doesn't show it every day, but on that kind of gesture, don't you think it's enough? It's more than enough to show us how he truly feels about us. So just, that was just touching me to the core. So yeah, that those things that through those two episodes were hitting me hard in the feels and in the heart, that those are the things about BTS that cannot be fabricated, cannot be forced, cannot be played out. They are just pure. It's purity at its finest, and I really hope that thanks to this series, even haters and all the people that are new to BTS will understand what really means that deep down to be BTS and to be ARMY, and what makes our relationship so strong and unique, relationship between fans and artists. There never in the history, I think, of musicians, of artists, I don't think there ever been such strong, such pure and true thing between people who love what not only what they do as musicians, but themselves as humans, as persons, as individuals, as influential figures in history. They are more than a boy band. They are just amazing inspiration to young generation and even older one to be just better people. So that's just mind-blowing and amazing to witness and to be a part of, because that's what world needs right now, in all the chaos that is happening, all the bad stuff that are happening constantly everywhere in the world, the wars, the stupid the politician stuff and everything. They are the light of hope and the light of everything that is better, that should be better. Just what they show, how really humans should be. They show how humans should be, because that's how we are supposed to be, I think. And if we all take example of their behavior, world would be totally different. That's all I wanted to say of this video. I hope my notes and my talking didn't bore you, and that you feel similar about it. I know I talked much. Thank you for watching, guys. I love you, and if you like this video, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel. I hope you like this, and yeah, to the next time. Bye.